Good morning. This is Bowtie Dave for Bowtie Life here. Hitting you a little bit before the part 2 of our video talking about the outer beds, but I just want to give you a teaser of a plane flying over. Not bad. And a little bit of our harvest. We have lots of cucumbers. This is what I picked this morning, 7 cucumbers. I did harvest the last of our potatoes, which grew in the outer bed, so you will notice those are not there if you've been following along. And we have more cucumbers I don't know what to do with. Interesting thing is, it's been in the 90s, mid to upper 90s for the past couple weeks. We're still getting some amazing produce. I didn't even bring out the okra or the beans. I've got a big gallon bag full of okra and a gallon bag about half full of beans. So been very excited in the garden. So with no further ado, please subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on what we're doing. And here comes part 2. Okay, so hopefully you had a moment there with the little lizard to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel. Remember, we're trying to get our first 100 subscribers so we can get our custom URL. And that means we'll be at youtube.com/hopefully our name. So we'll see how that goes. But if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Every subscription right now really matters. We need 100 to get to that point. So please hit that subscribe button. But you can see, I mean, these blackberries are looking amazing. We have harvested not a lot of blackberries. Now remember, when we first moved into this house, October 30th, this is June 25th, there were blackberry vines all over the back garden here. And I've pretty much tried to consolidate them down this arbor that we're in right now. And they're struggling a little bit. They're not doing great, of course. So I've tried to save as many of the flora canes, the second-year canes that I could, so we get some decent production. And I mean, we've got, I think we probably have about a half a gallon of blackberries, but we're going to have to do something a little better on the blackberry end. But I'm still a little confused on whether this is the outer garden or if it's the raised bed garden. I'm going to count it the outer garden. I do want to point out there is through here, right down here, all these twigs. This was a goji bush, and I think we're killing it. So that's a sad thing. The other goji berry bush is not doing too well, but I think it's because of water. I really didn't think this one has received too little water, but it's very possible. They have kind of suffered. Of course, this one is kind of off in the shade here too. So anyway, so the blackberries are coming along. I do want to show you this. We have pomegranates coming out everywhere. This thing is just bulging out. There's large ones. There's another large one right up here. See if I can look up and show you that. Kind of see it through there. Yeah, there's an even bigger one. I don't know if the camera will make it out, but there's some right up above my head up here. Big ones. One of those is really big, but kind of getting excited. I'll have to figure out when pomegranates are ready to harvest. So we're gonna start learning what to do with pomegranates. And just like we're learning what to do with everything else right now. But let's take a look at right behind. Of course, we're coming up on the blueberries here. We've harvested, I'm pretty sure we've harvested over 32 pounds of blueberries this year. That's a lot. In fact, we're kind of just in awe of what we've harvested off of this. And we've given away a lot. We've cooked with it. We've frozen some. We've jellied some, or not jellied, jammed. We've jammed some. And so that's been quite a boom for us. But coming around the backside of the blueberries here, of course, we have our melon patch, and you can see back there our bee box is going strong. Ooh, there's another pomegranate. It's a small one at the moment, but the bee box is just really doing fine. The fellow who's supposed to come collect the honey has been short-staffed and hadn't been able to collect the honey yet, but he should be out any day now, as I think they're probably ready for a little more room. But we do have a little more mosquitoes coming out here, and that's just par for the course here in the panhandle of Florida. It has been, oh my goodness, this past week and a half, past 2 weeks have been hot. I worked outside in it. I built fences. I did pressure washing. What else did I do? I did a few other things out in it that were just really hard, but I brought my pavilion with me and worked in the shade as much as I could. I brought a cooler of ice, and I stick my whole brim hat, that Magellan hat that I wear sometimes, stuck one down in the cooler and wore the other, and then swapped them out frequently. So I'd have an ice cold hat on my head every once in a while. It felt so good. But yeah, those bees are something else. But there's some pretty cool stuff going on in the melon patch, though. I want to show you this. So as I've said before, I do like my wildish garden. I just love coming out here and seeing what's growing right now. Right now, all this is cantaloupe down out here on the ground, and very exciting news, we actually have cantaloupe growing. These things are pretty good size now, and waiting for them to ripen up for us. So, and there's another little one getting ready to start growing right next to it. This one here is, let's see if I can read this. Hales Best Jumbo Cantaloupe. And we actually have, if I go over here, you can see we have one growing, just sitting on the ground on one of those little blue lids. And this thing is just really growing over everything. It's growing up the arbor over here, going crazy. And it's actually kind of taken over the Kiwano, the horned cucumber, which is producing a lot of green, but I still haven't seen a single flower on it. It's really interesting that this horned cucumber plant, Kiwano, it is just really thick up in here. Ooh. It's really thick up in here, but no flowers as of yet. So this is the first time growing this. Still have to figure out what we're doing. Come down here, there's a chocolate mint with Kiwano coming from one side and cantaloupe coming from the other side. It's under full attack. We'll have to straighten that out. The lavender down here is I've taken all the flowers off. Hopefully it's still green, still looks good. So we'll have to see how that does. But this is, some of you might remember if you've followed along, lavender is my nemesis. So, okay, so we're coming over here to the other cantaloupe, and I cannot find the tag right now, but we actually have one growing down here. I got a little blue lid underneath it. I am looking for a tag, and I can't find. I'll have to look back on a previous video and make a new tag for this, because trying to keep these labeled. Of course, a little too wild in here, pulling up some weeds as we go. And we've started harvesting hot peppers. This is the jalapeno bush from last year, so it's a 2-year-old bush. And of course, my prize from last year, the Fatali Peppers. These are my hot ones. Really good stuff. Coming past the jalapeno, we're coming to our second biggest fig tree, and looks like we're having a little bit of challenge here. I need to make sure that the other stuff doesn't, but you'll notice these yellow leaves, they just kind of, when they're ready, they just come right off. And I'm taking them off because I don't want that, whatever that disease is, I think it's probably fig rust, to spread to the other leaves. As long as the fig rust is not on the new leaves. In fact, you can see here, the new growth looks beautiful. And there are figs in here. Here's a, well, uh-oh. Are there figs in here? Oh, okay, there's one. There's one fig. This tree didn't have as many figs as the other trees. Or the big tree, I should say. Of course, it got a little bit slower start, and the fig that's over there, that fig in the yellow flags, I haven't seen any figs on that yet. So that was the one I wasn't sure was going to make it. So if you look down at my feet, you can see the cantaloupe has vined all the way over here. And we do have a plan for this area here, which I'm a little excited about. First, let me just show you the new zucchini we have growing up underneath here. You can see in the back there, we got a zucchini that's going to be ready in a few days. And I'm hoping there is a female flower right there, and I'm hoping that's going to become another zucchini here soon. But I tried to start some rooting points on the vine here past all the damage, and we'll have to just see if the fact that I actually might have zucchini coming out is a sign that it could have worked. But if you watch that video, you probably remember that the bees kind of overtook me. There's the bees. But we do have, of course, I haven't commented much about this blue pool cover. There's some more peppermint back here. We got mint everywhere. But I want to back up and show you this whole area here. Right now we have a dozen of these cattle panels on the property, serving different purposes: arch trellises, arbors, panel trellises, airplane flying over. We live just near 2 airports and 3 Air Force bases, so we get a lot of airplanes. But anyway, so this bed right here, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do other than make a melon mound. And of course, I didn't realize that cantaloupe climbed that well. And so next year we're going to do something with a star shape of 3 archways in here, with probably the bird bath in the dead center. And that's actually not a bird bath, that's the bee watering station. I'd like to have an archway goes directly to the bees where they can have access to it. But you can see there's a water line that goes into it that fills it up every other day. But the blue tarp, I'm going to try to remember to point out the loquats at the end of this video. But that blue tarp over there is going to be where our Loquat Hedge is. And we're very excited about that for next year. So of course the lemon tree, this lemon tree does have some lemons on it. I am not seeing them at the moment. I know it does, I've seen them. Oh, there's one. I see one up there. They're small lemons. This one's just getting started. I may need to give this one a little bit of attention. Anyway, so coming around to the cantaloupe bed, this is the Blacktail Mountain, and this is what I'm very excited about. This first Blacktail Mountain watermelon is getting big. I'm hoping to have our first edible watermelon out of that. There's actually 2 more over there. There's one hidden underneath there. And then just pan to the left here, there's another one, and they're all on little blue lids to keep them off the ground. Uh-oh, I just discovered another one. I'm very excited now. There's one little one hidden up underneath here. Look at there. I have not seen that one yet. I'll put a leaf under you for now. I'll get a lid for you later. But Anyway, so sunflowers are doing their thing. It's been nice having a few sunflowers. We haven't had as many as we hoped, but this one over here lost its head, but it's coming out beautifully now. And the weird thing is it's pointing away from the sun. All of them are. I'm not sure why that is. I thought sunflowers pointed to the sun, but they're all pointing north right now. Which today, right now, it's like 80 degrees out. We had some rain this morning. Oh, it feels so beautiful. So I've been pulling out air potato vines. I pulled out another half a dozen this morning. I actually see one down there. Darn it. Okay. I am gaining headway, I feel. So this is my dragon cayenne plant, and it is suffering a bit. I'm going to have to give this fella some attention. It does have some beautiful fruit on it, but I think it may not have gotten good water, or, oh, wow, that's light, which is very weird considering there's a irrigation head right here. I'm going to move it over closer so next time it gets watered here, it will get some water. This is where the potatoes were, and of course in the beginning of this video I mentioned the potatoes are gone, so that's different. I think we harvested somewhere around 22 pounds of potatoes, so it was a decent harvest, I feel like, for the number of potatoes that we planted. There's another pomegranate. It's a little hard, starting to get a little bit of redness on it. Ooh, I see a air potato climbing up that fence over there just to the left of that post. I love this thing. Always wanted kinetic art in my garden. Could sit here and watch this thing all day. So of course that's the ligustrum over here. And our other watermelon that is not doing too great. This is from plugs, and I actually just added some more water spigots to hopefully water these more. Someone advised me that I may not be getting them enough water. But these are the well, some kind of melon. I will have to look that up too and make another tag. These big giant nasturtium are starting to come up, looking good. I put a irrigation head over there so that this area will get watered. It actually just sprays this way. More peppers. We had a lot of peppers last year, and I'm cultivating all that I can. We have a few Rezha peppers over here. Kind of ugly looking thing. It's not supposed to be so curly. It's supposed to be a little straighter than that, but it's doing its thing. These are the Thai hot peppers. These are of course taken off beautifully. And this one actually has a water spigot right in it, so it's staying watered, which tells me, yeah, that dragon cayenne is having trouble because of me. All these little red flags, I planted a bunch of zinnias. Oh, I think we got some zinnia coming up. Is that a zinnia? I can't tell. That would be nice if it was. I planted some random zinnias in here. This is the final watermelon bed that's the same as whatever that is. But we need new tags. It's not a problem. Here's a Satsuma orange tree, and this thing actually has a lot of oranges on it still, so very excited. Last year this is the one that they grew about that big, turned black, and died. But that's a big one right there. I am very excited to finally get these. They're supposed to be just fantastic oranges. We had one or two this past year, but most of them died. Very sad thing. But yeah, I see a few hundred on there right now. Maybe a couple hundred. Of course, this takes us down into the corner where we have our walking onion bed, and I've actually planted out some walking onions in the new bed out front. Oh, I've been fighting this particular one. Watch this. Oh, it broke. There's a vine underneath here that I keep pulling the leaves off of. Yeah, with it wet like this, it's hard to get the vine. Yeah, I'm just breaking leaves off right now. This is the dollar weed, of course. But I did notice over here these walking onions. Some of these back ones are getting heavy, starting to pull themselves down to the ground, and they will plant themselves and set up a whole new bunch of plants. In fact, everything in here was from one bunch of plants that I was given by a friend. Everything in here was one bunch of plants. So if it proliferates like that, we're gonna have a boatload of onions this next year. And you can see actually this one here, these are starting to bulb out. They don't get very bulby, but we have eaten the green stalks on top. They get little, well, it's kind of deep in there. They get little ping pong ball sized bulbs if you separate them out. The way that one's pushing itself apart, I might ought to take that one and go plant it somewhere individually, give it a little more space. So, more pomegranates. There's a big old pomegranate I've been watching right up there. That's going to be a beautiful one. There's a lemon tree underneath here. Actually, there's 3 lemon trees underneath here, which are very hard to, 4 lemon trees underneath here that are very hard to differentiate, but there's one right there. There's 2 small ones in a pot wedged between the pot that first one is in and this pomegranate. And then there's another, at least one, back in this pot back here, which again, we still haven't gotten in here yet. So here's the rosemary bush, huge, going from there to there. I actually came in and cut a lot of cuttings off and started them, and I'm gonna try to start my seedling giveaway program we'll talk about later. Oh, looky here, my mint is flowering. We're gonna have to take care of that. I don't want this to flower and seed. Mint is a great plant to have around. I blame it for the reason that we don't have squirrels on this property, and we haven't seen rats and mice yet. And they say that the mint keeps them away, and I've got over a dozen grow bags full of mint on this property. So here's some lemons, and looky here, the first yellow I've seen on a lemon. I just noticed that yesterday. Very exciting. We got a lot of lemons coming out here. These lemons were the size of grapefruits last year. Enormous. More pomegranates in here. There is a Comfrey. Is it Comfrey? This is Comfrey, this big huge leaf thing. Comfrey? No. Yes. Ah, doggone it. I had it in my brain and everything. Very leafy thing that produces a lot of, very fertile, has very deep roots, pulls up a lot of nutrients, and is good. The cuttings are good for the garden, but also you can make tinctures, and it's very healthy for you. Here's some more mint. Yeah, we're gonna have to start keeping our mint in check, because this mint is looking like it's gonna start to flower out as well. That's the mint down there. However, so we're coming over here to this aloe plant, and check this out. You see that stalk? Look at what's gonna happen. We're gonna get another bloom of the aloe. This is the red one, the gorgeous one. I love it. So down here, the loquats, these little 7 pots of the loquats, and look there, I've got 3 started coming out. These are loquat plants. Is that a worm? No, that's part of the plant. Thought that was a caterpillar in there. But yeah, these are loquat plants, and these are going to be the first 3 to go into our hedge out in the where that blue tarp was back behind the melon patch. So hopefully here in a couple years we'll be able to show you what loquats are. I'm very excited. And of course, underneath that pile of grass right there is my sand pile, which I haven't done anything with for a while because I hadn't needed sand. But you pull the grass off the top and you got sand. And coming down to the end, you'll notice we have wood chips. I loaded about 2 yards of wood chips just today, and I discovered that this stuff is composting. It's kind of ugly wood chips with sticks and stuff in it. It was from a neighbor's house, but I know how he gardens. Thank you, Sid. And I knew it was going to be good quality stuff, and we'll let it break down and we'll pick the sticks out as we need to. But that's just 2 yards of probably 8 yards total. Oh my goodness, I just noticed we have another aloe blooming. I didn't even notice this. This is the early stage of the aloe, of this red aloe blooming. Look how beautiful. Let's see if I can zoom in here and get the early stage of this blooming. That is just amazing. And of course that's going to open up into this. I've never seen aloe bloom. It's just so neat to have so much of it blooming here. Anyway, so that's the outer garden bed. There's really not much going on. I do have, this is still the compost bin. I've been emptying grass cuttings in here. I think I'm going to be consolidating over here so I can put another couple of yards of the wood chips in there until we need them in the spring. But anyway, I'm going to try to get the third part of my monthly garden tour out next weekend. This is June 25th. That doesn't leave me another weekend. Okay, well, we'll get part 3 out with the raised beds. Be sure to follow on Facebook because I post a lot of our harvests there. We have been harvesting tons and tons of stuff. It's just been blowing our minds every time I walk in with stuff in the morning. Typically I'm up before Mrs. Bowtie, and I'll be out in the garden harvesting stuff, and I'll bring in armloads of food, and she sits there with her eyes wide open and absolutely aghast at what I'm bringing in every morning, or not every morning, but a lot of mornings. So anyway, next garden tour, we're going to talk about the raised beds again, and there's a lot going on. If you've seen Facebook, you've seen the cucumber harvests. They are mind-blowing, just unbelievable. And in fact, I'm hoping to take several to church tomorrow and give away. But beans, we've been harvesting beans, and those are going to be a good producer this year. The tomatoes, because of all the 2 weeks of hot weather we've had, the tomatoes have begun to not peter out. The cherry tomatoes, they just haven't been producing nearly as much. In fact, I'm looking down here at this Prince Borghese right here, and it had some green cherry tomatoes on it, and I'm trying to say, well, I see a couple. Oh yeah, there's some. Okay, so it's still produced. I think it's waiting for this cooler weather to change, so it'll be producing, and hopefully by next weekend we'll have have a good week of weather so we can start seeing some production. So anyway, that's the outer bed tour, and we'll get to the inner bed, the raised beds here later. I do want to mention we do now have a website, bowtielife.me, and the only thing of significance on there is the statistics page, and it's a list of everything we are or have grown this year so far, and where it is or was we're over 90 cultivars of over 45 different harvests. So that's kind of blows my mind as far as edible food. Just wow, I cannot believe how much we have grown this year. So anyway, y'all have a great time. Thank you for following along. Again, please, please, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. We are trying to get our first 100 subscribers so we can get our YouTube custom URL. And every single person helps right now. So please, please, please subscribe. Please share these videos with someone you might think will appreciate them. And everybody, have a blessed day.